Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about 10 new designer releases this year. Would love to hear in the comments, have you purchased any of the new designer fragrance releases? If so, what did you get and what are your thoughts? I'm going to share with you my experience sampling 10 and whether they made it into the collection or stayed in the store or maybe made it to a wish list also. And I'll start with two of the highly anticipated ones as we're moving into the summer. We're going to kick off with Coconut Sun from Seven Virtues. This is a brand that I have had hit or miss luck with. I have Santal Vanille, which is this beautiful, creamy, sweet sandalwood fragrance that I really enjoy wearing in cooler and colder weather, like fall into winter. And I've tried a few of the other releases. There's like a Vanilla Woods or something like that. And there is a Pear Lotus, I believe is the name. Both are nice, but just didn't capture my attention enough to want a full bottle. I also tried one called Vetiver Elemi that just did not work out for me. It was too strong. So I was really curious to see what Coconut Sun would have to offer. This is a nice fragrance. I ended up purchasing just a travel spray, and I think I will keep it at that. This is not one that I thought I wanted a full bottle of, not because it's not a nice fragrance. It's a perfectly fine summer coconut floral vanilla fragrance. However, I have a lot of coconut fragrances and just didn't feel like this was a unique enough offering for me to add it into my collection at this point. I will say this had more so of a body spray kind of vibe. I don't have any problems with body sprays. Those are wonderful too. We need those in our life as well. But in terms of a coconut fragrance for the summertime, I just didn't feel like this offered enough for me. And I do feel like the opening of this was really pretty. It was sweet. It was like a dense, nice coconut, floral, sweet kind of experience. And then the sweetness of the fragrance sort of dissipated a little bit as it settled down. And it became more of like the soft coconut water that is in the fragrance and a floral fragrance more than anything else. Like it was more on the floral side than on the coconut side for me, which is fine, but not exactly what I was looking for. So I think I will enjoy the travel spray if I can find it. Would love to show it to you, but I don't know where in my house the thing ran off to. It grew legs and it's in a closet or in a drawer somewhere and I can't find it. But I will enjoy the travel spray whenever it shows up again, and I will use it up this summer, but will likely not be getting a full bottle. Would I advise someone else to try it? Yeah, if you don't have a lot of coconut fragrances and this is maybe a first foray or one of maybe like a handful of coconut fragrances, sure, I think this would be a great addition to someone's collection. Let's go next to Lust for Sun from Juliette Has, another brand that intrigues me just by the name alone. It makes me think of the Janie's Got a Gun song by Aerosmith. Who remembers that? Listen, that is a great karaoke song. I can rock that song on any microphone. Who's up for some karaoke? But Lust for Sun has a beautiful bottle. I thought the bottle was gorgeous. In transparency, I tried this out very quickly at Sephora, spritzed. Thought I liked it, but not enough. I didn't love the way that this dried down. Again, you know, when you're testing things in store, it's really kind of hard to tell because there's a lot of scents in the air. And if you're spritzing several things on your arms, for example, scents can sort of mix, waft in the air together and kind of confuse you. And you sort of become nose blind because you're sniffing so many things. So let's be fair to a fragrance that we try in a store and say it's just an initial quick impression. But Lust for Sun, I found to be deeper than I expected. I thought it was going to be a little bit more flirty and easygoing, and it was actually rather deep. It was heavily on the floral side, both white florals and like yellow. I think it's Ylang Ylang is the yellow floral that's in there, which is a little rich, maybe a little buttery, sometimes comes across a little bit banana-esque, but it definitely has a denseness to it that I really actually like for summer. So that mixed with some white florals. And in Lust for Sun, although it's not listed in the note structure, in my mind, it felt solar to me. Now, I don't know if the name of it or the bottle was suggestive in my mind and created sort of an olfactory image that then impacted the way that I perceived the fragrance. But it reminds me a lot, when I think of solar notes, I think about the way that the atmosphere smells when you're out in summertime. So if you think about being out on the beach and the air is super hot, I mean, to the point where like there's almost like waves in the air. It's like a mirage in the air when you look in the distance, that type of hot. There's a smell coming up off of the sand, or maybe as you move over to pavement, the pavement is so hot, it's giving off a smell from the sun beating down on it. People's skin are giving off a smell, and all of that is wafting in the air in this very sort of dry summer heat-ish kind of smell. When I think of solar notes or solar smell, that is what comes to mind for me. And I feel like that's what Lust for Sun was giving me, plus the florals. So, and it has a muskiness to it too. So I would say it's a deeper, denser fragrance than maybe I would anticipate for a summertime. In that sense, it reminded me a bit of Sun-Kissed Hibiscus from Nest, which is a fragrance that I really enjoy and would maybe reach for that over Lust for Sun. However, I will say that I'd love to try Lust for Sun again in store, and maybe pick up a travel spray as we're getting ready to go to Vegas and other places this summer that are probably going to be incredibly hot. Under which conditions, maybe those fragrances would be fun to wear. I don't know, we'll see. So for the time being, for me, this was a no. However, if you're looking for a summertime fragrance that is in the floral direction, a little musky, has some depth to it, it has some character, you may want to try out Lust for Sun. Bottle is gorgeous. The third fragrance that I'll talk about, I did not end up getting a full bottle of it, but I do have this very pretty travel spray, Florist, from Ellis, Brooklyn. Look, the bottle for this alone is so pretty. These pink bottles, there's another pink bottle I'm going to talk about that captured my attention. And this is a fine fragrance. I didn't feel like I needed it. I have some really gorgeous florals with some citrus in them that I think I might reach for before this one. So I'm glad I got the travel spray to test this out. Maybe I'll spritz this on a little bit later today as my scent of the day. It's almost 3 o'clock and I haven't figured out a scent of the day yet. I do like that this gives me beautiful shampoo vibes. And look, there's nothing wrong with smelling like shampoo. Some of my more pleasant scent memories are friends of mine who were fresh out of the shower. We were getting ready to go somewhere. They hopped in the car or something. And I'm like, what do you have on? And it was whatever was coming off of their hair. Their hair smelled fabulous. So this reminds me of like a very beautiful floral citrusy, like almost like a fruity shampoo. And in that sense, it's fun and it's flirty. Now that I'm sniffing it from the atomizer, I'm like, do I want to go ahead and get a full bottle? But I do have others that remind me of this. It's like in the direction of Si Passione from Armani, if you're familiar with that fragrance, or basically any like floral, fruity fragrance that leans in the cleaner direction. So not like in the super sweet direction. For me, this is crisp and clean. It's got some nice white florals in it. I believe gardenia and some citrus notes. Is there bergamot or something like that? Some limey, maybe orangey types of citrusy notes that keep this fragrance bright and happy and easygoing on the skin. So if you're out someplace going to like, you're in an outdoor event where it's hot and you want a pretty girl fragrance, but not a cloying fragrance, this might be a good one to think about getting. Longevity on this, I would say, is in the moderate range. You're not going to get a whole full day out of it. You might get a nice half day out of this fragrance, but the bottle, I wasn't always like a super pink girly girl, but the older I've gotten, the more I just love pink. Do I want a whole pink household? No, I think I'm more of like an earth tone kind of gal, as you see from the wood and tones behind me and all of that. But I love a good pink moment. So yeah, from that angle alone, the bottle on this is so pretty. So yes, a nice easygoing fragrance. Definitely one for, let's say, the younger, easygoing ladies in your life who just want to smell pretty. They don't want to smell like an abstract painting. They don't need the latest $500 niche fragrance. They just want to smell pretty. This is a great option for that. Let's talk about one of the prettiest bottles out on the market right now. And it's another pink one. It's from Givenchy and it's Irrésistible Rose Velvet. Yes, I know there's a whole French way to say that, but I'm just going to stick with Irresistible, okay? I love the bottle on this. It's this muted pink nudie bottle. And on the back of it, it's got like a crystal facet type of a situation going on. So I love the simplicity of the square bottle. The fragrance, let us talk. When I first spray this on, I'm like, oh, like the heavens open up. It is a beautiful, sweet, deep, like thick rose fragrance with musk that just kind of takes your breath away. You're like, whoa, I've arrived. I've arrived in terms of finding a gorgeous fragrance that I'm going to love. And you're walking around the store and you're smelling fantastic. And then you sniff again in about maybe 10-ish, 15 minutes or so, 20, maybe 30. Let's give it 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, it has calmed down into a musky, woody fragrance with hints of rose in the background. So I bring that up to say the opening of this fragrance is absolutely magnificent. Like chef's kiss to die for. I want to smell like that for the rest of my life. And the dry down is nice. It's nice. It's not spectacular. It doesn't knock your socks off. Would I want to smell like the dry down throughout the day? Sure. I mean, like, I would actually purchase this fragrance and smell like the dry down and be perfectly happy. But it's not a stunner of a fragrance. It's not going to knock you over. It's not going to have people running up to you, giving you compliments. Or maybe, because I've heard that from some people in comments, but the opening of this, oh my God, if they could figure out a way to make the opening last throughout the fragrance, I would buy this fragrance full price. But I'm going to wait for it to go on sale and maybe consider purchasing it then, because it is really nice. And I know this sounds weird, but the opening is totally worth getting it just to be able to sniff that. So I give this one a thumbs up, but I'm going to wait to see if I can get it on a pretty decent discount. So let's go next to Marc Jacobs Perfect. This is the Eau de Toilette concentration. We have the regular Perfect Eau de Parfum, beautiful almond floral fragrance. Then came the intense version, which had this additional sweetness for me, and also like this kind of a soury, maybe tartness that I thought was really interesting in the fragrance. And I do have that one. I have the intense version. And then came this one, the EDT. The bottle alone, I think, is so lovely. I love these sort of blue, turquoisey, like tropical water looking bottles. That alone is attractive to me. The bubbles on the top, you either like or you hate. Where are you? Tell me, put it down in the comments. Do you think the Marc Jacobs tops are gaudy, or are you into them? Are you like, yeah, that's a thing for me? I have to say, I originally thought they were like mega tacky, like, back of the flea market tacky, and now I like them. So when I first sampled this fragrance, I didn't think that I was interested in getting a bottle, even though I really liked it, because I have other fragrances like this. And as I move into the deep heat of the spring and I'm looking at summer, like summer's tapping on my door, I'm like, well, maybe I should really think about grabbing at least a small bottle of this. The thing is, it's the big bottles that have all the baubles on the top. So I'm kind of wanting that. But it's like a fresh out of the shower fragrance. I would say it comes across a little bit like clean soap, a little bit of florals, some woodiness, a little tiny hint of pepperiness to keep it interesting. And I think it would be one of those that you can just sort of spritz all summer long and spritz a lot of and just never offend anyone, like never overdo it. It will never get cloying or overwhelming. It would just be a nice one to carry around with you and just kind of like, hey, spray away to your heart's content. So I'm still thinking about this one. I didn't end up picking up a bottle, when I sampled it, but I do think it is full bottle worthy, especially if you just want that sort of clean, fresh, out of the shower kind of zhuzh going on. Let's move on. Let's go next to My Way, the Parfum concentration. I'm not super crazy about the bottle on any three of these, but they're okay. They're okay. They've come around. At first, I didn't like them, but they've come around in my mind to be okay. The regular one, the original, nice bubblegum tuberose. The intense version, I really like. It's like a deeper version of the first one. Great. And then came along My Way Parfum, which honestly, I really feel like Armani should have released sort of as its own new creation, because it's unique and different enough from the other two that I don't understand why it's a flanker. So let me start with that. I think this would have benefited from its own, maybe sort of like a lilac colored bottle, a light purple, or even a light blue ethereal bottle. This fragrance for me is about two things: iris and musk. Yes, there are other supporting players. There's some tuberose in it. There's some orange blossom and all of that. But what I pick up most from this fragrance as I tried it, and I've tried it several times now, is a beautiful, lovely iris, a nice, cool, cold, crisp iris, and then this warm musk kind of making the iris come out of its shell and not be so stuffy. And it's an alluring fragrance that way. It's one of those when you spritz it on, you maybe don't know if you're going to like it or not, but as it settles, you're like, ooh, this is sophisticated. This is interesting. This is different. This could be like my alter ego self. Okay. So I may pick up a bottle of this. I don't need it right now. Again, famous last words, as if I'm looking over at my collection off screen here. If you've seen my collection, I've got a lot of stuff, but I would say if this is one that you're looking at and you don't already have like an iris musk in your collection and you like iris, you have to like iris, you all. It does have that cold, crisp iris thing happening, that if purple has a smell, right? Iris and violet and those kinds of flowers that come purple, well, not all of them, but a lot of them do, they smell like that. So anyhow, this is a win. Although I didn't purchase a full bottle, I fully give this 2 thumbs up as a beauty of a fragrance. Next, let's go to Donna Born in Roma Intense. And the reviews on this are all over the place, because people either really like the original Donna Born in Roma or they don't. If they really like the original, of those people, they either like Donna Born in Roma Intense, spoiler alert, I did pick up a bottle, or they like this one more. So it's like the battle of these two. And I have to say, I'm kind of on this team. I really like the intense version quite a lot, but that's because I'm in a phase with my fragrances that I enjoy them all. And particularly, I'm really liking the deep, sort of sultry ones. This one has been a real joy for me. So the regular, well, see, this is really nice. This is jasmine on top of jasmine on top of jasmine, on top of vanilla, on top of vanilla, on top of a little bit of woodiness. So maybe this is like your daytime version. I will say with this, I think a lot of people go nose blind to this and call it weak. I mean, it has good longevity, the original version, but then that's not what we're here to talk about, Veronica. Goodness gracious, we're here to talk about the intense version. So this is like if this one went to work in its nice suit, and then at night, this one sort of turned around, right? Like did this Wonder Woman spin, and out came the sultry version. Okay. So this one, the office daytime worker, this one went away for the night and sultry version came out. So what is this one about? If that one is about jasmine, vanilla, and woods, this one is heavier on a really sort of deep, beautiful, sensual vanilla, amber, some resinous touches, and definitely the jasmine. And the jasmine in here, all of that combines to be like a more potent, intense version of this one, except ready to play at night. This one's going out clubbing or on a sexy date. This one is securing the ring. Did I just say that? This one is securing the engagement ring. This one is still trying to play coy during the day in a nice ponytail. At night, this one lets the hair out and it's like, whew, Wonder Woman's coming out. So from that sense, this is probably going to be a more sort of date night appropriate version. Or if you're going to winter events or in the colder weather, if you want to wear the first one, the original sort of in warmer weather, maybe this one is your fall and winter fragrance. I'm going to be rocking this summer, because I'm daring and I love all kinds of fragrances and I just don't care. But I will likely wear this in air-conditioned environments in the summer, like not to the beach, y'all, okay? But if we're going out to dinner in the evenings, wow, this one. And the bottle with the ombre effect is just friggin' cute. So this is a huge thumbs up for me. Next, you all. This one took me by surprise. I was not expecting to love this. I really wasn't. I was expecting a boring version of the original. Black Opium Le Parfum. Here it is. And I got a small one. I probably should have gotten the large bottle because I could see myself running quickly through this in maybe like the next couple of winters. That's all right. We'll just buy another one. This is one of the most luscious vanillas that I have had the opportunity to smell. And I got a lot of vanilla fragrances and growing. That's why I bought a small one, because I have so many vanillas. It's getting a little out of control, but I had to have this one. So I sampled it. It is like a luscious, thick, almost syrupy vanilla, like almost in that direction. Has a little bit of sweetness. There's some pear. There's a little bit of cinnamon. There's a hint of florals, like white florals. But by and large, this is a very sort of sultry, thick vanilla that just smells luscious on the skin. It settles down onto your skin like a second skin of your most delicious self. It's kind of how it feels. And I think it's very, very sexy. It's a happy and sultry vanilla, okay? It's not like an angry vanilla. Like some vanillas can be so spicy that they're like, wow, they got claws. This one doesn't have any claws. This is a very friendly, happy vanilla with some zest to it. But yeah, by and large, if you're not familiar with notes and sniffing notes in fragrances, you're just going to think this is a really delicious vanilla. But try it out. For me, the magic of this, it smells great from the atomizer, but on skin, it's a little magical for me. So I'm giving this a huge thumbs up as a new release. And by the way, let me say that this one in my mind competes with some of the other really big vanillas, like for example, Absolute Aphrodisiac from Initio, like Material from Amouage, all of those big vanillas, maybe even Baby Cat. I haven't even smelled Baby Cat. Shut up, Veronica. Do you like Baby Cat? Is Baby Cat a thing for you? What did somebody tell me Baby Cat smells like? Hang on. Oh, yeah. Now I remember why I'm saying I'm thinking about Rosendo Mateo #5. People said that Baby Cat smells a lot like that. And I think this competes with that. Like this is that luscious and delicious that it kind of holds its own against those. And I really like #5. I've got it in my collection. It's chef's kiss. But yeah, this one too. Don't sleep on the Black Opium, you all. This is the girl right here. Okay, I have 2 more releases, and both of these are full bottle worthy and are currently in my collection. I can't even like keep the secret enough to tell you the review and then whether I got it. I just really enjoy these. And I would like to then round out the video by sharing with you some that I would like to try and would love to get your opinions on if you have tried them. So, People are either into the Carolina Herrera shoes or not. I have the original, which I like, and I wore recently. I have the Leger, which is like a really lighter, more well-mannered version of the original, like very sort of light and wispy in the air. And I've tried some of the others, and I haven't met one that I didn't like, okay? But this one stole my heart because of the color. So this is Good Girl Blush. Did I mention that? Good Girl Blush. Blush because of the color of the shoe. And I just adore this pink color in the same way that I like the Florist Ellis Brooklyn color. Beautiful. So this fragrance is all about citrus and florals, a peony note and a rose note, and then a musk, okay? Editing Veronica here, I meant to say vanilla, not musk. So think about like a rosy peony scent that's light and wispy, that has some citruses on it and is bolstered by a musk scent. So this opens pretty and happy and jovial, and you're like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And as it begins to dry down, you get a little bit more of those florals, and the musk becomes a key player here. And it's a happy, flirty fragrance. I think this is one that if you want to give age to a fragrance, this is really appropriate for older teenage young ladies, all the way through maybe like 30s, early 40s. I'm in my late 40s and I'm gonna be rocking this, you all, and I can see myself rocking this into my 50s. And if God blesses me to live longer than that. So this is a really pretty fragrance. Some people feel like this is a boring new release. That's fine. More fragrance for me and for you if you like it, but this gets a real big thumbs up as a happy new release. And the bottle, this is like your little Barbie bottle. You know what I'm saying? Are you a stiletto fan or nay? I have stiletto upon stiletto. You know what I wear though? My Crocs. Seriously, I wear like my flip-flops and my Crocs, but I have stilettos that I should probably wear. But like COVID happened, and then like who wears shoes anymore? I just put on my Crocs and head out the door. All right. And then in the 10th slot, not in terms of ranking, but just the last one that I wanted to talk about, is a fragrance that people have loved or just been like, meh, I don't know about that one. I tried this in store, spritzed it on, and was like, okay, all right, I think I kind of like this. Went out to see Hamilton. Have you seen Hamilton, the musical? If you have not, it is a fantastic experience. In the play and after the play, as I was driving home, I kept sniffing my arm and going, wow, this is something else. And I had to have a bottle of it. We're talking about Kayali. Wait, these always have like the longest names. Yum, Pistachio, Gelato, Yum Pistachio Gelato 33. So if you're not familiar with the Kayali fragrances, they all are in bottle shapes like this, different colors to sort of represent what the fragrance is all about. I really do like this green sort of sea foamy color, and the number on it, the 33, refers to the number of formulations that it took to get to the right version that Mona Katan, the head of Kayali, the face of Kayali, wants in the fragrance. So it tells you the notes in the back, but honestly, I'm going to read you a few, but I would say ignore some of them. This smells to me not very much like pistachio gelato at all. Maybe like some artistic interpretation of what pistachio gelato smells like, which yes, I have smelled. So then it has hazelnut, sweet rum, whipped cream. I definitely get like a whipped creamy kind of texture to this fragrance. Marshmallow, absolutely, and cotton candy. Those are the three that stand out the most to me. And here's how I describe this in other videos. This for me is like if you've tried a women's shave foam, like to shave your legs, and it has a little bit of like a men's shave cream kind of scent to it, yet it's in the girly direction. That's a little bit of what I get with this fragrance. So it's almost like a woman's fougere type of fragrance, if that makes any sense whatsoever, combined with probably the sweetness from the rum and the hazelnut together. That to me, I don't know, all of that just comes across as a really lovely sweet accord in here that I find rather intoxicating. This is a very fluffy, light fragrance, yet it has some substance and depth to it, enough where I feel comfortable wearing it in the heat of summer, and I think I would also wear it in the evenings. This would be one of those fragrances, if you are going out in the evening, you've got your little dress on, you got your hair done up in a nice bun or ponytail, and you spritz this on, and you're walking down the avenue with your significant other, or you're at the resort walking along the beach, and you want to smell nice, this might be a good one that would waft nicely in the air. Now, people have complained that this doesn't last long. I cannot say I've had that experience. I've had the opposite experience. So if I spritz this on in the Sephora store, let's say at like 11 o'clock in the morning, it was probably 6 or 7 at night, and I was still sniffing this. Was it loud and taking over spaces? No, but it definitely was enough for me to sniff on my skin, which sometimes that's all you want, friends. Sometimes you don't need people at the next table smelling you. Okay. Sometimes you don't need people 10 rows behind you at the conference sniffing you and asking, who's that beautiful fragrance? Sometimes you want it for yourself or the people right around you. And in that case, this is just, I, I, I adore this. Period. End of story. This is a huge thumbs up for me. Really glad that I got it. And it got sold out during the Sephora sale because y'all, we rushed to Sephora to get stuff. Ooh, Sephora needs to send out little thank you cards to all of us. So then if you've stayed until now, I do have a bonus that I wanted to share with you that I think was a massive fail for me. This was a blind buy and I have deep regrets. So Joe Malone put out a Scottish Highlands collection. There are 4 in the collection. I think they only came in this size, if I remember correctly. This is called Mallow on the Moor. The only notes listed for this are violet leaf, mallow, and heliotrope. So I was expecting something that was in the really nice, bright and happy, powdery, cold, like violet direction. Violet on its own, and I don't know what else is in here. There's probably other notes, you all, but violet on its own can be really challenging. There's just something deep and almost like too grayish purple, if I had to put a color to it in my mind. I need some warmth with it for me to enjoy it. So anyway, there's 4 in this collection. There's Melancholy Thistle, what a name. And I think there's Highland Heather or something like that. And then a 4th one. And I thought the bottles were super cute. So I took a chance on this one. And I had it. Aha, so much. I don't care for this. Some others may like this. This is a very, very cold, austere fragrance, and I will likely be selling it. So have you tried any from this Scottish Highlands collection? Let us know. I'm curious to hear your impressions. I have a decant of the next one on the way because I like Tom Ford. I know people are like, overpriced. It doesn't last long, whatever. I have a thing for Tom Ford fragrances. Not all of them. There's some stinkers in the bunch. And yes, there's some that don't last long. But this is Soleil de Feu, I think is how you pronounce that. Is it Feu? Soleil de Feu. And it's supposed to be a warm, woody, spicy tuberose fragrance. I would like to try this. Have you tried it? If it's what I think it is, it's probably one of those that is maybe in the wrong bottle or named inappropriately and should be more of like a fall, winter fragrance. Let me know. Is this something that you would wear in the summertime? Is it a beautiful, spicy, woody tuberose, or is it something else? Curious to hear your thoughts on that one. And then the last 2 that I'm curious about, there's Gucci Bloom Intense. Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with the entire sort of Gucci Bloom line and all of the flankers. I always get confused. I liked all the ones that I have tried. I have had Gucci Bloom at some point. I think they're all really nice fragrances. My issue with them is they don't really last very long for me, but I do like the original Gucci Bloom, and I'd love to hear about this Gucci Bloom Intense. Have you tried it? Don't love the bottles on this. In a world where you can get some really exciting bottles, even like y'all, the shoe, whether you like it or not, it's an interesting bottle. I feel like Gucci could probably do a little bit something more interesting with either the bottle shape or the stickers on the bottle. But let me know what you think about this. I'm a fan of the Gucci Bloom line. I just really like them to last longer. And then the last fragrance, and some of you all have told me to try this, I have not tried it yet, is Dolce & Gabbana Q with the queen, the crown on top as the top. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I understand this to be a light, breezy, citrusy fragrance. Did someone tell me it reminds them of like light blue intense, maybe from Dolce & Gabbana? Hello, maybe it's the same DNA or something like that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. This is not one that I would blind buy, because I think I have other fragrances in my collection that meet that same scent profile. But some of you have talked about how wonderful this is, so I really would like to hear. So don't forget to leave in the comments, have you tried any of these new releases? What are your thoughts? Are you like yay or nay on them? Give us all the deets so that we can hear from each other and make some informed decisions about either the decants or the bottles that we purchase. Hope you enjoyed this kind of a video. Let me know if you'd like to see more, and take care, friends. Have a good one.